Hello, good morning for me. Good afternoon or evening for you. I am in Nashville and I am here. I see three people have showed up. I am so sorry that I mixed up the time here on YouTube. When I set this schedule, I was in Atlanta and we have a time difference. So Nashville is 1 hour behind Atlanta. And I thought I had factored that in, but yeah, mistakes happen. Very sorry about that. But yeah, welcome to our lesson. My name is Jen from English with Jen 123, and I offer conversation lessons for people who would like to improve their English every week. Oh, thank you, Christopher. Thank you very much. Hey, Yuki. Yeah, so every week I offer lessons to people, and we do on Tuesdays we have a quiz. So I take 10 different questions and offer you the chance to be able to learn vocabulary through a quiz, idioms or different facts. And today it's Wednesday, so I offer a proper lesson. So we have vocabulary words, idioms, phrasal verbs. Hello, Serena, sweetie. Thank you very much for coming back. Yuki, Christopher, and Yuki, thank you very much for showing up again. And my apologies. And so you have a nice comprehensive lesson every Wednesday. If you are looking to improve your English and you're looking for a community to do that, welcome. So hey, Gracie, sweetie, so happy. And we're back again. I'm so happy to be in a lesson with all of you again. I missed you. It's been 2 weeks. Hey, Michaela. Thank you. Welcome back. Welcome back to all of you as well. And yeah, and so I thought it would be a wonderful thing to be able to kind of take a look at where I've been. We will focus on Istanbul today, and I will work on a lesson for us to talk about Uzbekistan and maybe even my trip to the States. Let's see. I'm visiting family. I've not been home. I missed you all so very much as well. So very much. Christopher's not Christopher. Christopher is Ollie. Right? Am I right? Okay, Karina, darling, welcome. Yeah, so I'm kind of all over the place. Let me take a sip of my coffee. Love you all more. So yeah, my little cup. You got it. Thank you, Ollie. Okay, thanks. That throws me off. Okay, anyway, but I got it. We're here. So I don't have like a lot of idioms and phrasal verbs for us today. I have conversation questions, lots of vocabulary. I'm going to take us through 5 different sort of places or feelings or kind of little character sorts of things. And so let's start first. Where are we starting? Let's see. I have videos. I hope all of this is going to work. Trivia questions, true or false questions. So yes, so it's a very active lesson. Let's start, I think, with a bit of the timeline. Or actually, let's start this with a banner, because maybe some of you have been to Istanbul, maybe you haven't, maybe you want to go, maybe it's kind of on your travel bucket list. But what comes to mind when you think of Istanbul? What's the first thing that pops into your mind when you hear the city Istanbul? What do you think? First thing that pops into your mind? Maybe it's nothing. I don't know. But maybe you have something. Like, what kinds of things do you think that we're going to see today and talk about today? So I was in Eastville 7 years ago. Okay, Gracie, so like what pops into your head when you think of that? What do you remember about that trip? So, and I can tell you some of the things that you remember if we will talk about that today. So let me know. I'm gonna take another little sip. I'm drinking now a mushroom coffee and I really love it. I don't have the packaging here, otherwise I would share it with you, but I'm trying to get away from coffee and this is so good. And it gives you a bit of a boost because it has cocoa powder in it. So you do get a little bit of a boost, which I need, especially in the morning because it is now 8:03 a.m. here and I'm still slightly jet lagged. But so anybody have any thoughts about what comes to mind when you think of Istanbul? I think of, like, for me, before I went, I thought of, okay, so Yuki says the Blue Mosque. Hey, Natalia, sweetie, which actually, Yuki, we did not go to. So we tried to not go to too many mosques because we were going to Uzbekistan afterwards, and that trip was just predominantly one mosque after the other. Hey, Alicia, sweetie, hello. The Bosphorus, yes, the Bosphorus River, exactly. Not been before. Ollie, do you have anything that comes to your mind? Eating baklava from Hazif Mustafa. Hey, Mohammed, and that Hazif Mustafa was Peter's favorite. We went to 3 different baklava places because we wanted to test and see which one was the best from our taste buds, and we wanted to get a little bit of diabetes. It's so sugary, but so Peter's favorite was Hazif Mustafa. My favorite was another one that starts with a K. I have to look and see what it's called, but yeah, but it was really good. The Layali market. I don't know that. I don't know that. For me, Istanbul is a country that feels both Arab and European. I associate it with hot air balloons. And yeah, Karina, totally. You get this very East meets West vibe there. I love the city. Turkish tea, exactly. Turkish tea, absolutely. Okay, cool. So just to kind of get us into the spirit of Turkey, and they've changed the name. So I hope I'm saying it correctly. That they changed it 3 years ago because obviously the animal, the bird, the turkey, it's been linked to them. Figs, okay, you think of figs as well. I heard this story. I don't know if it's true or not, but evidently the English named this bird, named the bird Turkey because there was a bird that was in Turkey that looked like a bird that they found in North America. And so then that bird got named after the country just because of where it geographically was. Now, of course, the Turkish people did not like being labeled the same thing as a very unattractive bird. So they changed the name, the pronunciation of the name. I think this was always their name, but they've changed the pronunciation to Turkey. Iran, I love that milk. Oh, Iran, yes, I do too. I do too. Every time we go to sort of Middle Eastern food, I have to drink an Iran. I love it. It's so tasty. Okay, so folks, I think what would be kind of cool because someone just mentioned that we have, Istanbul, it's sort of this East meets West thing. So I thought not to be like a history nerd here, but it might be a good idea for us to go a little bit through the history of just kind of quickly. Actually, I hope I have that slide now that I think of it. Hold on. Let me make sure that I have that slide to go through the history of, and let me see. I do not. So let me download that really quickly and get that going for us. So maybe you can tell me while I'm trying to figure this out, what do you know about the history of Istanbul? A very long, and interesting history. Anybody have any ideas about the history that you can tell me about things that you think of? So yeah, the wooden Troy, the wooden horse. I think that's a city in Turkey. I think it is. I'm not sure. So that would be Turkey and an air balloon trip. Yeah, I didn't do that. That would have been cool actually. So let me drop this on over to here. And anything that you can think about in regards to the history. And let me see if I can open this. Istanbul. Okay, so let's do this. So let me do this. Tuda, la da da. Here we go. Let me pull this up. There we go. Oh, no, that's wrong. All right, sorry. Hold on. I clicked the wrong one here. Aha, hold on. I think I've download and I need page number, let's see, 10. Current page number 10. There we go. Sorry about that. And let's see. All right. The earliest was the Ottoman Empire. Okay. And we're traveling even further back in time to kind of talk about this because it really gives you a sense of where we are. So let's see. Hopefully, this is going to be okay. And yeah, there we go. All right. We're in business. And let me move myself over to the side here and we can take a look and see. This is I don't have my mouse. I killed my mouse somehow along the way. Let me see if I can move this better. That's that. I think I'm on oh, here we go. Okay, that should be good. Yay! Okay, here we go. It's only Europe and Turkey. In Istanbul, exactly. So Istanbul is the western side, is a part of the European continent, exactly, Yuki. And so let's take a look right quickly, and and if you want to add anything to this, just so that we get kind of a feel for how this city works, because it is kind of this east meets west and just this big mix of different things. And there's a good reason why. Because it was a Greek colony from the time of, let's see, 600 BCE. And when you see sort of scientific writings and things like that, then BCE is before the Common Era. So meaning before the time of Christ. And when you see CE, it's Common Era after that time. It used to be BC and AD, but that was really very religious, and a lot of science that dates things incorporates people from all different faiths. And so they changed this term. So BCE is before the modern era, modern Turkey. Did you eat chestnuts? No, I didn't. I didn't know I was supposed to. Istanbul has a unique position as a city that straddles two continents, Europe and Asia. Very beautifully worded. Absolutely. So it was a Greek colony called Byzantium, founded by the Greek settlers from Megara. I don't know where that is. I don't even know if that still exists today, to be quite honest. So really, the Greek settlers settled, they decided to create a settlement there because geographically it was so wonderful, because it connected Asia and it connected Europe through this waterway, the Bosphorus River. Hey, Yelena, darling, welcome, dear. Welcome, welcome. And Yelena, you're from Serbia, right? I have my little list here of people and where they're from when I can't remember. I think you're from Serbia. Please correct me if I'm wrong. It's just always important to me that I kind of know where we're all from here. All right. Anyway, so it was smart. It was a great place geographically. It totally made sense for trade and for defense. So that's where they started. 660 BCE. Then came some Persians, and they took over for a while. And Byzantium was under Persian influence for a number of years. Yes. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Later became part of the Roman Empire. So I guess this would be the Eastern Roman Empire, an important trading city between Europe and Asia. Then we move on to 330 CE. So 330 CE, this is after Christ was born, or the Common Era, as we say. Emperor Constantine the Great makes Byzantium the new capital. So we're not calling it, it's called, I guess it's Constantinople now. I think it's called Constantinople. For you history people, I know a lot of you are really educated with these kinds of things. Please do correct me, because this is clearly not my strong suit, but I do think it's good to go through this right quickly to kind of get a feel for how mixed this culture actually is. Okay, so yes. Later became part of the Roman Empire, an important trading city between Europe and Asia. Text is too small to read. Oh no, Istanbul is a bridge between the worlds. Absolutely. Thank you, Yuki, for letting me know. Okay, I don't know. Let me take a picture so that I know to not do this again, to make this text bigger. All right, let me see. I hope everything else is going to be good. Let me see. All right. So then moving on, transition to Constantinople. So probably a lot of you have heard of the city Constantinople, and Emperor Constantine the Great decided to name this after himself. Humble man, makes Byzantium the new capital. So in 330 CE, he renames it to Constantinople, and the Byzantine period starts. Byzantine Empire, 330, long time, goes all the way until 1453 CE. Eastern Roman Empire controls Constantinople. Okay, so here's where Rome comes into play, and we have two sort of cities, major areas, let's say, for for the Catholic religion. And then famous landmarks are built during this time, the Hagia Sophia, which we will talk about today, some city walls and some palaces. And then the Ottoman Empire the Ottoman Empire starts, and we have from 1453 to 1923, so a little less than 500 years. Sultan Mehmed II conquers Constantinople in 1453. City becomes the Ottoman capital, important center for Islam, for trade and culture. The Hagia Sophia, which is a building that we will talk about in a minute, is converted into a mosque, and new policies and markets are built. And since 1923, we have modern day Turkey, and the Ottoman Empire ends. Turkey becomes a republic under Ataturk. The capital moves to Ankara. But Istanbul remains the largest city and the cultural sort of hub. This is where everybody goes in Turkey. This is the major cool city to be in. The city's name was officially changed from Constantinople to Istanbul in 1930. So that's not so long ago, almost 100 years ago, that its name changed after having been Constantinople for centuries. So, all right. Let's move on to our next point. And just to kind of give you a bit of a brief history, sorry that was so long. I just realized how long that was. So let's see. Let me figure out how I can do this. I don't have my mouse. Okay, here we go. So let me remove this and let me add a banner for it. Let me pop over to here. And I have a question here for you. Let's see, question number 2. And the question is, if you could go back in time, right? If you could go back in time, which city would you like to visit? So it can be like a city like Paris. Maybe you can tell me the time that you would want to go to. Like which city do you think would be fascinating to see, and at which period, and maybe why? So I think it would be really fascinating to see Istanbul when you have really people wearing traditional costumes and European ones, and having this mix of different cultures kind of coming into play. Of course, what comes to mind is Rome and that kind of thing. Yes, right, Karina? We say great thoughts, great minds think alike. So Rome, exactly. Going back to ancient Rome and seeing what that was like. I was saying to Mike yesterday, I think this idea of visiting ancient cities, I think in all of these scenarios, you want to visit an ancient city and be like in the wealthy area, I think, because like the plumbing, I mean, it must have been very horrible for everyone. So yeah, if you could go back to a city in time, maybe which city would you like to go to? To Xi'an, okay, in China. And why would you want to go there, Ollie? I'm curious to hear why. What was so special? I'm not so educated on things that are related to China, so please educate me. Yeah, where would you want to go? Maybe you say, you know what, there's no place that I can think of that I would want to go to. The Terracotta Warrior. Aha, very cool. Okay, Natalia, you'd like to go to Athens. Athens, Greece, for sure. Tibet for the rich culture, maybe Alexandria, the ancient brain of the world. Michaela, love it. Rome. I also think like I was in Crete last summer, the summer before last, and I think to go back to Crete, the island, one of the Greek islands now, would be very interesting. They were very cutting edge, so before the Greeks. So I think it'd be interesting to see what their culture was like. So there are lots of places that one can go to. All right. So Yuki, you would like to go to Rome? All right, so let's see. Let's move on, and we're going to talk about probably one of the most famous buildings, not the Blue Mosque. Sorry, I didn't go there this time. We might go back to Istanbul in the spring or early summer, so we will check that out then. But for now, we're going to visit the Hagia Sophia. Now, the spelling of this is weird. I had to look 6 times just to make sure that this is correct because it looks so weird. But Sophia. So let me write the correct spelling here, and so that you will see that the way I'm pronouncing it looks very bizarre. Hagia Sophia, no G involved, lots of, Hagia. Hagia Sophia. So Istanbul was the Byzantine Empire, Jerusalem at the beginning of the Christian period. Love it. Okay, cool. So we're going to talk about that, but first I'm going to throw up a slide for us with some vocabulary words so that we can practice a couple of things before we even get into talking about this. I'm going to show you some videos and show you some photos and stuff. And in this case, I have a trivia quiz. So we're going to learn about it through a trivia quiz, and I hope it will be fun. So let's see. I have a video file. Let me see that. And Hagia Sophia, number 1. Looks good. This I put this together during varying degrees of being tired. So this is it. This is Hagia Sophia. Huge mosque today. If you know anything about it, you're more than welcome to add it right now. But this is what this mosque looks like. Hagia Sophia. I visited Hagia Sophia 30 years ago. Oh, cool. So then you visited it, Yuki, when it was a museum. Nowadays, it's actually a functioning mosque and a museum, which I find very interesting. Okay. So that is that. If anybody, I would like to hear the call of prayer echoing through the halls. Yes, definitely. All right. So then let's see. So this is that. And I'm going to pull up our first trivia question. And so I have like, oops, when am I leaving the studio? No. We're here. We're doing this. Let me move down here. And we're going to learn about the history and learn about the building through some trivia questions. I think that's always the best way of learning things. And I'll show you some photos in between. Indonesia, okay? Awesome, thank you. Oh yeah, you're welcome. So let's see. So first, let's see. So Hagia Sophia, I need to go to image, video. Slide number 2, let me see if that's it. Nope. Wait, oop, sorry. I'm jumping the gun. We need this first. We need to do some vocab first. Sorry. Okay. Let's see. So vocab. Let me hop in here. So when we can talk about Hagia Sophia, the word dome is relevant. Mosaic, and let me repeat this because many people mispronounce this. Mosaic, not mosaic, mosaic structure, restoration, and monumental. I have monumental there. I think I wanted to do monument. No L. Hello, Lorena, sweetie. Welcome back. So our definitions are A, very large, impressive, and or of great importance. B, a rounded roof on a building. C, the process of repairing and returning something to its original condition. D, an artistic design made from small pieces of colored glass or stone or tile. Yuki, can you see this print? Is this okay? Because just to kind of check in with you, because the print earlier was, the text size was too small. Something that has been built, or a construction or framework. So I'm going to look really quickly. Okay. All right. So what can you tell me? Karina's already guessing. First time when I saw Hagia Sophia, I felt so small and like an ant. Yes, it's huge. It's vast. Okay. So Ollie's saying B, Karina's saying B for dome. What do we have? Anybody else? So yes, I do now. Okay, good. Thank you for the feedback. All right, so let's see. So dome is obviously B. The rounded tile, we have this on a lot of mosques, this rounded sort of roof, let's say. Number 2, what have we got for number 2? Number 1 is B. Number 2, mosaic. Let's see. Let me see if I can get into your comments here. And okay, so I'm making a mountain out of a molehill here. So 2, Ollie's saying D. Who agrees with Ollie? Let's see. Lorena says 2 is D. Exactly. Yuki says D. So 2 is D, mosaic, which is an artistic design made from small pieces of colored stone and glass and tile. What about number 3, structure? What can you tell me for 3? Thank you everyone for guessing. And while we're here, we've got 19 people. If you could like this live stream right now, I think it's super simple when you watch, you just click somewhere down there, then that would be great because that will tell YouTube that this is a place to be. So number three, two was D, one was B, two is D, three, Yuki's saying E, structure is E. Anybody agree with Yuki? What can you tell me? Natalia, you say E as well. Okay, good. Lorena and Karina. So Yelena, so let's see. So structure 3E, something that has been built, a structure or a framework. Exactly. So and number 4, restoration. Let's see exactly. So 1 is B, 2 is D, 3 is E, 4 restoration is, what can you say? Restoration. Natalia's saying C, C from Lorena. C, C, C. Okay, C of C's. There we go. All right. So for restoration, C, the process of repairing or returning something to its original condition. So these are all great words that we can use for other things as well, but specifically for the Hagia Sophia. And last but not least, exactly Natalia and Karina and Michaela and Lorena, 5, monumental, very large, impressive, and of great importance, which Hagia Sophia is absolutely that. Definitely. Okay, cool. So then let's see. So I think I'm doing it like this. This series is all banner work. Okay, so let me go back to here. Okay, and I'm going to pop up a banner for us. And our first question, and these are some true or false questions. So let me scroll down here. Oops. Let me see if this is going to work. Yes. Okay. So true or false? Here we go. So the Hagia Sophia was completed in less than 6 years. What can you tell me? True or false? How long, or not how long? The Hagia Sophia was completed in less than 6 years. Do you think that's true or do you think that's false? What do you think? Question is down there. The Hagia Sophia. So Karina's going with yes. Ollie's going with yes. True. Karina, true. False? Okay. Yes, yes. True, true. Okay, so we have a lot of people guessing true. And in actuality, this is true. This massive structure, like I showed in the original video, constructed in 6 years. We have bridges that span maybe half a kilometer that have taken 30 years to try to get fixed in Germany. So this massive structure that has stood the test of time was built in less than 6 years. That blew my mind. I have a little video to share with you. Let me see. I need to hop over here and remove this. And let's see. And let me show you a little video of some of the interior because you will then get a sense for how big it is inside. So let's see. We have video number 1. No, 2. There we go. Okay, so here we go. Here's our video to share with you how big this is. So just to kind of give you a feeling, 6 years, folks, 6 years. So it was actually true, 6 years. All right, so let me remove this, hop back over to here, and add up our next trivia question to learn more about the Hagia Sophia. Okay, so the Hagia Sophia refers to a woman named Saint Sophia. True or false? What can you tell me? What do you think? The Hagia Sophia, the name Hagia Sophia is named after a saint. It's impressive. It really is. It really is, Yuki. And you were lucky because you got to go downstairs. Nowadays, because it's a functioning mosque, we were not allowed to go downstairs. But 30 years ago, I'm sure you were able to do that. So true, true. Ollie's saying false. Yuki's like, true. I don't know. All right. Any other guesses? What do you think? What do we think with the name? True question mark. Okay. So actually this is false. Hagia Sophia means holy wisdom in Greek. It's not named after a person. So it means holy wisdom. And you have to imagine that this was built actually during the times when I think the Greeks were in power. Let me go back to my thing here. I think it was built under Greek, yeah, under Greek, the Greek, yes, yes, during the Byzantine Empire, Roman Empire. Okay, so it was, but they still used a lot of Greek in Istanbul or Constantinople at the time. So it is false, not named after a person. And I have a little video to share. Let me get rid of this banner. There's a lot of going back and forth. This is so good for my brain. It's such a training. All right, let's see. Let me find our little video. So let's see. So video file, and let's see. We need video number 2. No, we just had that. Number 3. I've misnumbered these already. So this is another view to kind of give you an idea of how big this place is. Yeah, it's incredible. 6 years, folks, not named after a saint, named after holy wisdom. Would be nice to have some holy wisdom. And so, Yuki, you probably were able to go down and walk on that green carpet or in that area where the green carpet is. But nowadays, only if you are a Muslim are you allowed to go down there. Otherwise, all of the other visitors, all of the other tourists need to stay in the upper area so you look down upon it. You don't have that option. All right, so next question. Here we go. Comment, let's see. Nice. Yes, okay, cool. Let's see. Next question, we need banner number 5. Okay. Hagia Sophia was the world's largest cathedral for almost 500 years. True or false? What do you think? I saw Medusa Underground. That's a different area. We're going to get to that later on. We will get to that later, Yuki. So yeah, so the Hagia Sophia was the world's largest cathedral for 500 years, for almost 500 years. True or false? So Mohammed says false. Karina says true. Yelena says true. What can you tell me? That's true. Okay. Okay. Anybody else want to have a guess? What you think? We have a lot of people guessing true, but actually it is false. Hagia Sophia was the world's largest cathedral for almost 1,000 years. So 1,000 years almost. And then a cathedral in Spain got built, and it became the world's largest church or cathedral, let's say. So yeah, so I thought that was really interesting. Built in 6 years, has lasted a long time. So actually, that's our next question. And yeah, and it was the largest for over 1,000 years. I have a little video for us. I'm a little confused. Okay, what are you confused about? So over, not just to 500 years, more than 500 years, for almost 500 years, actually more than 500 years. So it's a little bit of like an IELTS question. So it's worded a little strangely. Sorry about that. All right, let me show you a video and let's see. Okay, let me scoot over to here and let me remove this and add our next video to kind of show you some more. Oops, and let's see, video. And where am I? 24 seconds. I think that this is this one. Maybe I don't have a video here. I don't think I have a video here. We're going to move on. And so hold on, cancel. Sorry, moving here. And let's go to our next question. Okay, so now let's talk about how old this church is and how old the structure is. All right. So what do you think? The Hagia Sophia is almost 1,500 years old. Is this true or false? What do you think? The Hagia Sophia is almost 1,500 years old. What are you guessing? I'm so glad that we didn't do this lesson last Friday because it's a lot of preparation and I've been able to kind of like make it nicer and nicer because I had more time. All right, true, true. Let's see. Alessia saying true. Yelena's saying true. Any other guesses here? Michaela's going with true. What can you tell me? False. Yes. Okay. So this is true, right? Completed in 537 CE. So this is the Common Era. So in the first century of, yeah, or the first part of the millennia, the first half of the millennia. And so completed in 537 CE, it has stood for nearly 1,500 years through empires, earthquakes, and wars. It has stood the test of time. It really, really has. It literally has. Okay. So the answer was true for all of those of you who are guessing, all of you that guessed true. That is correct. Moving on to our next point, and let me hide that and add this. All right. So the Christian mosaics inside Hagia Sophia were destroyed when it was turned into a mosque. All right. So when this building was turned into a mosque, before that, there were these beautiful mosaics. And when it got conquered, then all of the mosaics were destroyed. I guess I didn't learn anything from my visit. Oh, sweetie, that was 30 years ago. Cut yourself some slack. I didn't know anything about it. Thank you for all this information. Oh, good. Yay. Good, good, good. So were the mosaics, the beautiful pictures made out of glass and stone tiles, were those destroyed or did they leave them behind? What can you tell me? So false. Okay, any other guesses? Do you think that it got destroyed or do you think that we were able to see it? Hello, Juan Carlos dear. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're talking about Istanbul and we're talking about the mosque that is called the Hagia Sophia. And I have a little trivia questions for you so that we learn about it in sort of a game-like way. And yeah, I hope it's false. Yes. So Michaela, without further, time going through this situation here, yes, it is absolutely false. They left what they did. Hold on, let me see. I don't want to know if I'm gonna. Yes. So what they did was they did not take some of them. So what they did was they put plaster over it because, of course, a different religion does not want to have the images from the past religion. That doesn't make sense. But instead of ruining all of these beautiful mosaics that I'm about to show you pictures of, they decided to just put plaster over it so they didn't see it. And yeah, it's really, really incredible. And I want to say in 16 something, I don't know. Let me take a look really quickly. Some archaeologists came to there and discovered all of these beautiful, incredible mosaics on the walls. Yes, I mean, that's really, really wonderful that they didn't do that. When were the mosaics discovered in Hagia Sophia? I think it was I want to say Italian, Swiss. No, I'm not sure. Let's see. That part I don't remember. They were discovered. Oh, actually, so I'm completely off. In the 1930s. So these were covered from 14 something until the 1930s. And then in the 1930s, they discovered them and they've restored some of them. And it's truly incredible. And I will share with you in a moment, I think after our next question. And yeah. So I think that was really, really, really impressive. All right, so let's see. Then I'm going to show you now. Oh, no. Let me show you this video then. Okay, sorry, this is a little bit all over the place. It's a lot to kind of, for my brain to compute here. All right, so let's see. I'm going to move myself over to here and add a video so I can show you some of these images. You see that these are images of Jesus, and so it's really interesting to see. And this is all compliments of Peter. You will see later on what I took pictures of. So I took no pictures pictures. These are all Peter's doings. And the detail, this is just incredible. And we said that this was constructed. Let me go back and see real quick. This was constructed sometime between 330 and 1453 CE. So very, very long ago. It's so incredible. And this was so pretty. There was like these gold patterns in the background. Absolutely incredible. I'm probably going to get baptized on November 30th. Oh, congratulations. Nice. Okay. So yeah, so in this mosque, you go in there, and again, you have this East meets West thing where you have Christian religious images, but you're in a mosque. And I think that it's so incredible and so big of that community that left that and didn't destroy it, because it's a treasure for all of us today. And so, last question that I have for you about the Hagia Sophia, then I'll read you a story about it, and we'll move on. Let's see. Let me remove this. Okay. Sorry. And let's see. So, and our banner question is this. Here's the trivia question for you. All right. The faces of the emperor and empress are exact realistic portraits of their physical appearance. So this is an emperor and empress. Oops, sorry. I'm going to go over this way and leave myself so that I can share this slide with you. So hold on one second. Oh, no, remove that. Sorry. And then you can see their faces. Beautiful, incredible mosaics, really unbelievable. All right, let me go back, cancel. Sorry. That's not it. Okay, I need to go to image. Excuse me. This is a little bit. Yes, that's the one. Okay, here we go. So this is an emperor and empress, and on the sides and in the middle, obviously, we have Jesus. And so, do you think that these are exact? This is what the way they looked at the incredible mosaics. Yeah, really beautiful. So, true or false? What do you think? The faces of the emperor and empress are exact, realistic portraits of their physical appearance. This is what the emperor and empress of that time looked like. Yuki says true. What else can you tell me? And I would like to note that in the emperor's hand, he has a sack, probably of money, like a little bag, a sack of money, showing that he's financially supporting. And also, you have the emperors who has some sort of papers. Not sure exactly what that is, but maybe it's plans for the Hagia Sophia. Have you ever seen mosaics in San Marco, Venice? No, but I saw them in Ravenna, and that was amazing, amazing. So true, true, true. Okay, everybody's saying true. I am unhappy to tell you, or sad to tell you, let's say, that it's false. So this is not exactly what they looked like. Of course, they're like, you know what? Straighten my nose, give me some fuller lips, make my hair more beautiful. So this is an artistic interpretation, making these people probably look a lot better than they actually did, which I get it. Now they're preserved in time, looking much better than they actually did. So no, this is just sort of a representation of around like an approximation of how they looked. All right, exactly, it's false. So I have a story now, and then we will move on. Okay, so this is the story. You've got vocabulary now. You have a picture in your head of this, and here is the story based on all of that. The Hagia Sophia is a monumental building in Istanbul, originally built in 587 CE as a cathedral. It is famous for its huge dome and beautiful mosaics, which show the artistry of the Byzantine Empire. The impressive structure has served as a cathedral, a mosque, and a museum, and now kind of it's like a mosque and museum, showing the long and varied history. When the Ottoman Empire took over Constantinople in 1453, they chose not to destroy Hagia Sophia because of its religious and cultural importance, which is amazing. To preserve its beauty and strength, sorry, excuse me, no, importance, instead of converting it to a mosque. Over the century, it has gone through careful restoration to preserve its beautiful beauty and strength. Hagia Sophia continues to attract visitors from all over the world, standing as an example of how conquerors can sometimes respect sites of historical, religious, and cultural significance. So I read this pretty quickly. I will admit to that. And so please let me know percentage wise, how much did you understand? How much did you understand of the little text about Hagia Sophia? What can you tell me? Hopefully at least 90. If not, that's okay. We can talk about it. 90, cool. Okay, Ollie. All right. Anybody else have some figures for me? How much did you understand? Anybody else? Okay. 85 to 90. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. So I read it pretty quickly, but we looked through pictures. You had these figures in your mind. We talked about the history, almost all 90%. Cool. And if you didn't understand a lot, that's fine too. I would like to know. We can be honest here. That's absolutely okay. Not a problem. Okay, so then let's see. So question for you is this, like, because I am so impressed, which it seems like you are as well, that back then when it was conquered, it was not destroyed. It was preserved in a way where it was, out of sight, out of mind, but they knew that they had something that was important there. They knew it was important enough to not get rid of it. So can you think of any other examples of like do you have any examples of when a power took over a region but chose not to destroy the things that they conquered? They chose to leave it. They chose to honor it because it was, something valuable and precious. Can you think of any examples? I have come up with a list just in case. And yeah, so if you know of any examples of people that were conquered or cities that were conquered, but their culture was respected and not destroyed, then yeah. An example that I have for you is the Acropolis in Athens. When the Persians conquered it, so after the Persians destroyed parts of Athens in 480 BCE, the Athenians rebuilt temples like the Parthenon, preserving the religious and cultural significance rather than abandoning the sites. Okay, so in this case, the people did it. The people rebuilt it. But let's see. Taj Mahal, during the British colonial rule, the Taj Mahal was protected rather than destroyed, even though it was a prominent Mughal monument. British officials later carried out some restorations to preserve it. Another example that I have from Uzbekistan is that the Soviets, they tried to protect the buildings. They did some restorations on the different mosques. They realized what cultural heritage object it was for the world, and they honored it and didn't destroy it, even though they were against having religion and the culture, because you can't control people so easily. So also the Pantheon. Yeah, okay, in Rome. So yeah, the old city of Jerusalem. So across centuries, various powers, Romans, Byzantines, Muslims, Crusaders, Ottomans, often preserved key religious sites like the Western Wall, the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. Sepulchre. I can't say that word. Sepulchre. I was there. I've been there before, but I can't say it. The Al-Aqsa Mosque, even when taking control of the city. The Alhambra in Spain, yeah. I think that's an interesting example. This is like Michaela, the Alhambra in Spain is an excellent example of where they took a Muslim structure and then built a cathedral on top of it, or a church on top of it. So it's the reverse of the Hagia Sophia. Mosquita in Cordoba. I don't know that. I'm not sure, but the mosque in Cordoba, probably. Is that in Spain? Maybe. I don't know. Help me out. I might even be going there in January, so I will learn about it then. All right, so let's move on, and we're slowly going to head on to a different place. Yuki, you mentioned it earlier, something about this, but very close. Mesquita. No worries, no worries. So Yuki, you mentioned this place earlier, and we're gonna talk about the Basilica Cistern, and let's pop up some vocabulary words so that we can go through that and learn a little bit before we venture on to other stuff. Let's see, to more information, that is. So I'm going to need an image, and now we are on to the Basilica. Okay, so we need number 4. Here we go. This is working better than I thought. I was a little nervous. Okay, so here are some vocabulary words that can help us out to learn about this structure, this place. So number 1, marble. Number 2, column. Number 3, cistern. Number 4, underground. Here are our definitions. A, below the surface of the ground. B, a tall vertical stone that supports a roof or ceiling. C, a strong, smooth stone, often used for statues or buildings. D, a large container or tank for storing water. Mesquita was a mosque, and now it's a cathedral. Okay. Yes, I think we're going there. I wanna say that we're going there in January, I wanna say. We'll see, Yelena. So, okay, thank you everyone for keeping me on track here. Yuki and Lorena are saying C, Natalia's saying C, marble. What have we got? Any other guesses? And you ladies are absolutely correct. Michaela too. So a strong, smooth stone, often used for statues or buildings. You think of the statue of David. It's marble. Lots of marble floors, beautiful marble. Exactly. So marble is a surface in the States. When you buy a home, everybody wants to have a marble countertop in the kitchen. Marble, that beautiful, expensive material. Number 2, thank you, Yuki, darling, and Ollie, and Lorena. Number 2, column. Everybody's going on. So number 2, column, absolutely, is B, a tall vertical stone that supports a roof or a ceiling. Absolutely. Number 3, a cistern. Ollie's saying 3D. Okay. So anybody else have guesses for 3? Oops, I'm not on an iPad. Let me see if I can get into your comments here. 3. Any other guesses for 3? Cistern. Cistern. I'll repeat it a couple of times. Cistern. Cistern. So you're all right, of course. Number 3 is D. A cistern is a large container or tank for storing water. And last but not least, for Lorena, A, exactly, underground is below the surface of the ground. So next we're going to a building where we're going underground. So we're literally going underground. And again, we're going to kind of do this where we have sort of little trivia questions so we can figure out information about these places in sort of a more, I don't know, kind of a better way. Not a better way, but just a different way rather than just having me talk and talk. Okay, so let me add our first trivia question, and I hope I'm on the right side of the screen here. Let's see here. We need an image number 5. Here we go. Nope, I need to move. So let me hop over to here, and here we go. All right. So trivia question, first one for the Basilica Cistern. Was it built in the 4th century CE? Was it built in the 10th century CE, the 15th century CE, or the 1st century BCE? I'm looking back at our little timeline here to see what is going on. Who is in charge? I don't know. Okay, so we have some guesses. We have B, we have D, we have A. All right, so you've got lots of different answers. So the answer is actually for Lorena, you are correct. It's in the 4th century CE, which actually I should have made this my last question because when you see this, this is again one of these objects that's so incredible. You cannot believe that it is this old. So let's move on to our next question. And yeah, I'll show you a slide after the next question. Oops, remove from the studio. And let's see, next image, we have that. Okay. You were hesitating. Okay. So what was the main purpose of the Basilica Cistern? Was it a place for the emperor? Was it a church? Was it a water storage system? Or was it D, a market? And if you think of our vocabulary words and the one that's in this topic here, it might make it easy as a little hint. So Lorena's saying C, a water storage with a question mark. What else can you tell me? Yuki saying C. And of course, it's C. It was a water storage system. And I'm going to show you a video, and I think you are going to be blown away. It's really impressive. So let me move this out of the way, and let me pop over to here so that I can share this video with you. And it's so incredible. I was really nervous because I thought it was going to be kind of a tourist trap, kind of a place that's not really, you get there and you're like, ugh, why did I do this? But this was really, truly impressive. So this is underground, built in the 4th century, for cold water, contained to house water. This incredible, incredible picture. Again, video credits, photo credits to Peter. Because in one of the questions I asked what a cistern is. Okay. Yeah, a cistern we have to contain water. So this was a huge cistern that they used to house water so that the people of Istanbul had fresh water when they needed it. And I find this structure so incredible. And Yuki, this is the place that you were talking about. I will show that to you later on. Oh, no, why do I keep saying I want to leave the studio? No. I just want to exit this. Remove, and let me add the next trivia question. Okay, so here we go. So we need 7. All right. And I think I have to pop over here. Okay, so let's see. So how many columns are inside the Basilica Cistern? You're welcome, Serena, sweetie. You're welcome. So is it 500 columns, 80, 336, or 100? How many columns are inside the cistern? What can you tell me? So Ollie's going with A. Lorena's going with C. Yuki's going with C. Any other guesses? C, I don't know. A is too much. Okay, so A is too many, way too many columns, maybe C. Okay, so all of your instincts are spot on. It is C. There were 336 columns. And so, yeah, really incredible. Let me show you, I think I've written video here. No. Photo. Let me show you a photo so you can see the columns a little bit better. They are really beautiful. And it seems as though they might have been taken from either old Roman or Greek temples. And it's very interesting because they are not all, oops, hold on, what am I doing? I hope this is correct. Yes. So this is that. I think I need to hop over. Yes, let me hop over to here. So you can see here, this is again Peter's picture. It's really nice. So they're beautiful. They're very ornate. They have lots of decoration. And the interesting thing is because this is like repurposing. I learned the word. It's called spolia. It's probably an Italian word where they take old, so stuff like old columns, old bricks, old material, and then they repurpose it. So it's called spolia. There's a new word for me. 3 plus 3 plus 6 equals 12. 1, 2, 3. The perfect number. No way. And new, like 336. That doesn't seem like a random number. It seems very intentional. I got you, Serena. Very cool. Thank you for pointing that out. And the interesting thing with these columns is that some of them are shorter than others. So they would like either the bases, as you can see here in this picture, that the one on the right, the base is higher than the one on the left. So they would use other things so that they can make them be the same height, even though the columns themselves were smaller or shorter or too big or whatever. They would just alter the base so that they can make it work, which is interesting because when you're in there, then you see sort of this like random, like it varies, the height of the columns vary, and you get a feel for that. But so this is the Basilica Cistern, and let's see. D. So the answer, Gracie Sweetie, is C 336, which Serena pointed out is the perfect number. All right, so let's move on. And last photo with this. I think, yes. Yes, and they're taken from Greek and Roman temples, exactly. All right, so let's see. Our last trivia question, I think, with this is this. All right, so let's see. Image, and we need slide number 9. Aha, I'm back on track here, I think. Okay, here we go. All right. So let me see if I need to move. Nope. Okay. Oh, sorry. This is this. Yeah, I need to do the trivia question. So no, not on track. Going back. Hold on. Let's see. This is about this. Well, you can take a look at this picture now, and I will just tell you the trivia question. Which Greek goddess's head is located in the Basilica Cistern? So this is a Greek goddess. She's sitting, her head is upside down in the water. Which Greek goddess do you think this is? And I won't give you any options. Let's see if you can remember. Okay, I'll give you the question. I forgot it. I mixed it up. I showed you the picture before the question. So Lorena's guessing Medusa. Let's see. Let me find that trivia question. And there we go. This is the trivia question. Let me hop over. All right. So trivia question with a wording. Sorry if I may seem no, not at all. You're all good, Ollie. So which Greek goddess's head is located in the basilica? So yes, Medusa with a little snake. Exactly. So it's Medusa's head. So clearly this was taken from a Greek temple during the Roman Empire. And I think it's interesting. Let me pull up the photo again. That they positioned it the way they did. There is some talk that they positioned it this way because they put her upside down because they didn't want her to be able to turn people into stone. So she wasn't like looking at them directly. So there's sort of like this little urban myth that the reason why she's not upright is because they wanted to show her upside down because they were still a little superstitious. Medusa, the god who turns people into stone. Exactly. So in this case, they didn't care about the Greeks' religion or their cultural heritage. The Romans came, they took the Greek stuff, and they used it. They did the practice of spolia, where they take old items, old monuments, old bricks, old columns, statue heads, and repurpose them so that they can use them for a new structure. I think that's pretty interesting. So you find this Greek Medusa, Greek goddess, in in some underground cistern in Istanbul. Medusa's, yes, that was that. Okay, so let's see. So what have I got for you here? So I have a little story Okay. Again, kind of like how we did with Hagia Sophia, you've seen images, you've learned vocabulary. So, again, this is just a little text to sort of bring everything together, and then we're moving on to a new topic. So, who built the Basilica Cistern? The Basilica Cistern was built by the Romans during the Byzantine period, the 4th century CE. Again, it blows your mind when you see how incredible this is in the 4th century CE under the Emperor Constantine or Emperor Justinian. It is Roman engineering, not Greek, although it uses some Greek style columns. Its main purpose was to store water for Constantinople, modern day Istanbul, the Byzantine capital. Over the years, it was mostly forgotten. It was uncovered in the 1500s by a scholar who wrote about it. It was restored in the 1980s to make it safe and accessible to visitors. So, since the 80s, you've been able to go down there and check it out. And as Yuki said from the beginning, she saw the Medusa head at the cistern. Okay, so I took not one photo, well, not one photo other than another subject. I took, I don't know, probably 50 photos of one particular subject. And so, yeah, and it was cats because I could not get over that in Istanbul, there were so many cats. Everywhere you went, there was a cat. And so, here is my question to all of us. So, Istanbul is famous for many cats, and there are several reasons for this. Why do you think that is? Why do you think that there are cats everywhere in Istanbul? What can you tell me? Why are there cats everywhere in Istanbul? Everywhere you go, super friendly. Like I would try to take photos of the cats and they would keep walking towards me. Like they were so friendly. They all came up to you. They are fed by the locals on the streets. It's really, yeah, they're very, very sweet, very cute. And they're not like they don't try to shoo them away. They try to like help them. So why do you think this is? Why do you think that? And then we'll do some vocab words. And then we'll move on to our cats and have a little cat video. I never thought in a million years that I would do a live stream with a cat video, but here we are. We needed to honor the cats of Istanbul. I drove Peter crazy because every cat I walked past, I was like, oh, 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 50 times. So yeah, he was ready to kill me. Any reasons, any ideas? If not, no worries. We will move on to vocabulary and we will learn about it soon. Turkish people love small animals for religious reasons. Good guess. Okay, so let's take a look at our vocab slide and let's see. And let me find my cats. Here we go. And I will hop over to here. Okay, so here are some vocabulary words related to this. In their culture, the cats are respected animals. Turkish people, that was that. They love the cats so much. They do. They love them. Indeed, they do. Oops, I need to, ooh, what have I done here? Hold on. Why is that like that? Aha, that's better. All right, so it's words related to this topic. 1, respected. 2, provide. 3, shelter. 4, mild. And 5, wonder. I'm curious how many of these words are new. We have 5 words. How many of the 5 are new? Because the cats are considered clean and spiritually significant, religious, respected in the religion. Yes, okay. So you're all on to something very good. Exactly. So definitely religious factor going on here. Getting very sleepy, I'm sure, sweetie. So you would just pop out when you need to, no worries, and sleep tight, dear. And hope you get better soon. So definitions: A, to give someone what they need, like food or help. B, a safe place to live or stay. C, not extreme, gentle or moderate. D, admired or treated well by others. And E, to move around without fixed directions. So what do you think number 1 is? Respected. And you can also let me know if any of these words are new or you know them all already. So Michaela. One is D. We'll go through these kind of quickly. Lorena D, Yelena D. I know all of those people that I think I think I know all of those people that I'm not sure, Yuki. Sorry. 1D, exactly. Okay, so one is D, exactly. Respected, admired, or treated well. So the cats there are respected. Ollie, you're fast. Okay, Ollie's saying that 2 is A, provide. Who agrees with Ollie? Yelena does. Let's get one more answer and then I'll just give it to you. We'll go through this pretty quickly. This section is pretty fast, other than our cat video. Maybe Yuki, you want to stay awake for that. So 2A, exactly. So 2, provide is A, to give someone what they need, like food or help. So the cats are provided food and water by the citizens in Istanbul. They are given shelter, they are provided with something, to give someone something, to provide something. Okay. Number 3, Ollie is saying B. Michaela agrees with you. Yelena agrees with you. Shelter, B, a safe place to stay, to live or stay. What about for 4, mild? Mild. What is number 4? Number 4. Okay, Yelena is saying C, and probably Ollie said C as well. So mild, C, not extreme, gentle, or moderate. So the temperament of the cats in Istanbul, it's very mild. They're very mild creatures there. They're used to humans. They come up to you. I've never had the experience where cats were so friendly. They actually behaved more like dogs, where they would just come up to you. They would see you and they would just come and like rub themselves on your leg. They were really, really sweet. And 5, thank you, Yelena, keeping us on track. Wander, which is a nice word. I didn't know the word wander. Okay, cool. So 5E, to move around without a fixed direction. So you just wander around. You just kind of walk and you don't have a specific purpose. Tomorrow morning, I intend to wander around the local shopping mall. I have lots of stores that I absolutely love that I do not have in Germany, and I will wander around. I will not have a purpose. I do. I really want to shop, but I will wander around and take a look and see what I can find. You can wander through a forest whenever you're walking, and it's just for the sake of walking, then you wander. And these cats, they wander the streets. There's no real intention. They just like to do that. I love wandering around the cities. Me too. Like roaming. Exactly. Roaming, wandering. Exactly. Are those cats owned by individuals? Probably some of them, but mostly they just kind of get adopted as just, cats that happen to live on your street, from my understanding. Okay, so let me read a little story and then I'm going to show you a sweet little cat video. It has to happen. You have to see the cats. They're so precious. So here's the story. Cats are highly respected in Turkish culture. Hi, Nagar. Hi, sweetie. Welcome. Not seen you in a long time. We're talking about the cats in Istanbul. Cats are highly respected in Turkish culture, partly because of Islamic traditions. Prophet Muhammad is said to have loved cats, and harming them is considered bad luck. Many cats in the city are stray or semi-stray. So if you have a stray cat, this means that they do not belong to someone. Let me write this word. Or semi-stray, like I was saying, that like the street would just kind of adopt a cat. So it's not really a stray cat that just comes and goes and is gone forever. It sort of stays slightly domesticated. Missed you too, sweetie. So stray. A stray cat is a cat that doesn't have a home. It's on its own and roaming, wandering the streets. Okay, so hold on, semi-stray. Where am I? Over time, semi-stray cats, but locals provide for them, leaving food, water, even shelters in the street. So you see a lot of little houses that are left for them, to boxes, houses, really sweet. Yeah. In streets, cafes, and shops, Istanbul's mild climate and narrow streets make it easy for cats to wander freely and survive the outdoors. Over time, cats have become an important part of the city's character, attracting tourists who love taking photos of them. So, how much like a band, the band Stray Cats? Oh, you know that band. I loved them in the 80s. Yeah. So, how much did you understand? What would you say? I read that pretty quickly, a little all over the place. If you could keep up with me, cool. If not, totally understand. I can reread it if you would like. And while you're answering that question, then give me a percentage, please, of how much you understood. And let me pop up my little cat video that I absolutely love, my little cats. So let me get rid of this. And, I've not thought of the band, The Stray Cats in forever. Thanks for that little blast from the past. So, let's see, let me find my video of my kitty cats. How much of the story did you understand? Look at these cats. How precious are they? 90%, cool. So, they're everywhere, like, literally everywhere. They're so sweet. Love that little guy. He was sandwiched in between paper. That's me taking photos of all the cats. That guy was so cute too with a yellow street. They were everywhere. Everywhere. Cats everywhere. I've never been to a city with so many. That cat in the basket was in a shop. So they don't mind. They just let them come in and hang out in shops, in restaurants, it doesn't matter. In fact, I don't know, I think I didn't put this one photo, but I we went to this really, really nice restaurant and we sat down and then I got up to go wash my hands when we had gotten to the restaurant. And by the time I got back, a cat had popped into my seat. And this is good. Actually, hold on one quickly, because this is inside a mosque. This is a mosque we're going to right after this section. Now, just in the middle of the floor of the mosque, just, taking a little nap, the nice little snooze. Nobody cares. But so when I got back, went back to the restaurant story, when I got back to my chair, there was this cat that was sitting in the chair and he was so comfortable. So we just shared the chair for the entire dinner. He was really, really sweet. And so, yeah, at some point, the restaurant owners came out with some cat food towards the end of our meal, and he ran off and he wanted to go get some food. Fair enough. He ditched me. There's a cat sanctuary room. I've seen that before. That's also really cool. That's really, really cool. I wonder if the Romans also had sort of this thing, this affinity, this love and like for cats, yeah, like the people in Istanbul, because I've been to other Islamic countries and I've never seen this before. So we went to Uzbekistan right afterwards and they had no interest in cats, like zero. So for me, this is an Istanbul thing. Maybe it's drawn from ancient from religion, but I don't know. Okay, so we're heading now to this place right now, to this mosque. This is also one of these places that it's just going to blow your mind. Let's see. How do I want to do this? Okay, so I'm going to show you a slide. So let me hop out of here and get the slide. So we're going now to also a place that was built during the Roman Empire that then became a mosque once that area was conquered, once Istanbul was conquered. And again, they chose to leave the frescoes, leave the different original artwork and stuff and just hide it. And it was later discovered. So let me see where we're at here, number 12. And here we go. So in this building, okay, so this is called the Kyria, I'm not sure how to pronounce this, mosque or the Chora Church. So originally it was the Chora Church, and then it became a mosque. And so just to give you a little bit of background on this is that original church was built 537 CE under the Emperor Justinian I. Many mosaics were added over centuries. Early mosaics are from the 9th and 10th centuries. after something. I don't know what that is. Famous mosaics of emperors, the Virgin Child. You see lots of mosaics that tell biblical stories. They are really incredible when you think of the time in which these were created. So amazing. Some of the mosaics were restored and even late and added later. Yeah, especially after, so they I guess they started restoration on this once they had finished the Hagia Sophia. Yeah. So Chora Church, current mosaics and frescoes date back to 1353 and 1321. And it was very interesting because you had two domes, and one of the domes was dedicated to Jesus and his life, all of the mosaics, and the other was dedicated to Mary and her life. So it was very interesting to see this and her ancestors. Let me pop up some vocabulary words to talk about this, and then I can show you some images. I lived in Istanbul for 4 years. Cats are the kings of Istanbul. Last year, I came back to my country. I had to make a new life. So I was very busy and I couldn't join the live streams for a long time. Well, I hope, Nagar, you're back and you can come and join again. Welcome, welcome back. Please come as often as you can. You're always welcome. You know that. You know that. You know that. I hope you're doing well too. So here we go, talking about vocabulary related to this monument here, or not really monument, more of a landmark. So we have fresco, mosaic, intricate, preservation, and heritage. So these are all nice words. I hope that some of them are new. Hopefully not all, but hopefully some are new. Here are our definitions: an important traditions, buildings, or culture from the past. B, very detailed or complicated. C, the act of keeping something safe in a good condition. D, small pieces of stone, glass, or the tile used to make pictures. And E, a method of painting on wet plaster so that the colors last longer. So let's see. Let's go through these vocab words and then I want to show you a video because, again, these images, these mosaics, these frescoes are incredible. So thank you, Michaela, keeping us on track. You're saying one is E, that fresco is E. I think it's a nice Italian word. So Ollie, you're quick again. You're saying one is E. Yelena's saying one is E. Exactly. So one is E, a method of painting wet plaster, painting on wet plaster so that the colors last longer, the frescoes. Number two, mosaic. Mosaic. We had this one already, so I will just give that to you. 2D, small pieces of stone, glass, or tile. Had that one, so we're done. Exactly. Al fresco. Isn't al fresco, Michaela, please correct me if I'm wrong, but if something is al fresco, isn't that when it's outdoors? So you can eat al fresco, and it means that you eat outside. Please correct me if I am wrong, but I thought that's what al fresco meant. Yeah, help me out. All right, what do we have for number three for intricate? And I really like this, and the designs on this are absolutely intricate. You see a little bit, well, that's not really it, but yes, so intricate. What do we have for number three? Ollie, so al fresco in Italian means the same as fresco. Oh, okay, okay. So what does it mean? How do you say that you're eating outside? Okay, okay, interesting. Huh. All right, then I'm glad I've not tried to be like chic and like, I'm gonna eat al fresco. And it like doesn't even mean that. That would so be something I would do. So number three, intricate. Ollie's given us, he said that three is B. Who agrees with Ollie? That is al fresco. So like separated. Aha, aha. Okay, thank you. You said al fresco. She said a fresco. Okay, so just the al then does mean outside. Good. Thank you. Thank you. So B, because in English, sometimes if people kind of want to be, then you could say, oh, I'm dining al fresco. And so we would say it like that. I wouldn't necessarily say that, but maybe just to kind of be sort of, chic in a way, to use a little foreign word in English. So 3B, yes, absolutely. Intricate, very detailed, very complicated, but in like a nice way, an intricate story, an intricate piece of jewelry. When I think of Viking metalwork, there's all these little tiny things that are woven inside of each other. It's the absolute opposite of minimalism. If we think of intricate jewelry, like very detailed. And so these mosaics and alfrescos are as well. Thank you, Yelena. Number 4, preservation, preservation, preservation. We have 4. She's saying a C. Let's go with Yelena. 4 is C, the act of keeping something safe and in good condition. So these mosaics and this artwork was preserved in both the Hagia Sophia and in the Chora Church. I'm just going with Chora Church just to keep it one language, not flipping back and forth. And last but not least, thank you, Yelena. Number 5, heritage is A. Important traditions, buildings, or culture from the past. Absolutely. So these help us to kind of talk about this structure, and we will move on because I really want to share a video with you because it's really incredible. So let me find it. Let me remove this and grab our video of this. So we are on to Chora and we have our video. And let me see, I hope I'm in the right spot. So just to show you a little bit, I mean, the designs are so incredibly intricate and they've preserved them over time. And these are mosaics. And then later on in this video, then I show you a couple of some frescoes. So you can see that. And I don't know, I think that I show you also a part where there's a video where they show you different scenes in the Bible. You see Moses parting the waters. You see Jesus turning water into wine. I think that's it right here, where you have the water being brought to him and it's being turned into wine. And these are some of the frescoes that you find in there. Really beautiful scenes. And it's just so wonderful that these were not destroyed and that we have this from the past. It's really such a nice thing that the Ottoman Empire did. So it's really nice. Again, compliments. I have to give Peter all the credit in the world here because he was the one who took all of these videos. As you saw, I only took photos of cats. My kids were like, Mom, send us photos, send us videos. And I'm like, if you want to see cats, that's no problem. Otherwise, you need to write Peter because I don't have anything. All right. So let's see. Al fresco in the fresh air and a fresco is fresco. Okay. So here's an explanation, again, like we've done with every section. We've seen videos, we've seen pictures, we've learned vocabulary. This is a little bit more of an explanation on this building here. The Chora Church, also called Hagia, I don't know, mosque, is a famous building in Istanbul. It was originally built as a Byzantine church and is very famous for its beautiful mosaics and frescoes showing religious scenes. That was very interesting. It was the kind of like, how nowadays in churches you have stained glass windows that show the different scenes from the Bible sometimes. And this was kind of like that, but not in a window, in the form of mosaics. The Ottomans converted it into a mosque. They did not remove the mosaics. Instead, they covered them again with plaster because Islam does not allow images of prayer scenes, but they respected the art and preserved it. So I hope that that's okay. I hope everyone's on board with me, that was, that you're fine with that. You can let me know if you understood or you had issues with that. And I'm going to pull up our next slide or our next banner question. That is, and where are we? 12. Here we go. Okay. What does the idiom stand the test of time mean? What does that mean? If something stands the test of time, what can you tell me? What was a nice definition for this idiom? That something stands the test of time. Can you hear my stomach rumbling? I'm hungry. So let's see. So we have a couple more things with this, and then we will move on to our last section of the day. And it's sad because I think that Yuki's gone. This would probably be her favorite section. So it's about food. So, what does the idiom stand the test of time mean? And if you would like to give me an example of something that has stood the test of time, you're more than welcome to do that as well. What do you think? And I can give you some examples. The Great Wall of China, it's still around today. It has stood the test of time, enduring centuries of weather and conflicts of all different sorts to be preserved in time, exactly to remain useful, valued, or effective over a long period of time, to be durable. Oh, yeah, Yuki, you're still here. Oh, cool, cool, cool. I thought you were sleeping. So I guess you're just sort of resting and listening. Okay, so traditional folk songs, like sometimes they stand the test of time. They're still passed down. They're still important. That can be something. So it doesn't just have to be a building that can stand the test of time. It can be a concept. It can be, a song, if you like. Human curiosity and creativity are qualities that have stood the test of time. We are still curious. We have stood the test of time. Yeah, that's a good one. Okay, cool. Staying unchanged during a long time. Exactly, exactly. Okay, so then that was that. Let's move on to a couple of questions, and then we are going to move into our last section of the day for today. Let's see. So I think it's over. I need to pop over here and let me remove this, and let's see. Slide number 14. There we go. Okay, we're good. We're in business. Look at this. Everything is working. So, number one, which places of worship have you been to? So, I'm thinking church, mosque, synagogue, temple, cathedral, shrine, anything like that. How many different types of places of worship have you been to in your life? Yeah, church. Okay. So, I've been to a church, I've been to a mosque. I've been to a synagogue, I think once, I want to say. You've also been to temples. I've been to a temple. I've been to a cathedral. I don't know. Yuki, we went to have a sleep and half listening. Okay. Yuki, the place that we went to in Tokyo, was that a shrine or was that a temple? And I'm actually not really quite sure what the difference is between a shrine and a temple. You probably all do. You can write it in the comments. I'm going to look it up because I don't know. Shrine versus temple. Let's see. Which places of worship have you been to in your life? Okay, so a temple is a large and formal place of worship. A shrine is a sacred spot dedicated to a person, a deity, or an event. It can be inside a temple or stand alone. It is usually smaller and holds many relics. Okay, that makes sense. Human bodies don't stand the test of time. Mine's not. But their ideas, creations, and legacies often do. Beautifully worded. I love that. I think it was a temple. Yes, okay. And according to this definition, then that makes sense too. A temple is a building used for worship, and a shrine is a sacred place or an object. So I guess like if you have like old bones from biblical figures, and they're sort of put into a special area. So it's like a special place you can go and worship for a specific person, it seems, or God, something of that nature. Okay. So we lived and learned together. All right, let's see. Beautiful words, right? Totally. What about number two? What is your favorite type of art? Paintings, mosaics, or sculptures? Churches, cathedrals, mosques, different temples, and synagogues. So you've done it all too. And I think it's so important to visit other religions because it helps you to understand them better. I think it brings a more understanding and tolerance somehow when you're able to visit other places of worship. I really enjoy doing that, having the opportunity to visit mosques and cathedrals or temples and that kind of thing. I'm really grateful to do that kind of thing. So favorite types of art, do you like more paintings, mosaics, sculptures? I have to say, I'm not a big sculptures person. It's very rare that I like a sculpture. I cannot tell you why, but I don't like many. Maybe I've just not been educated enough. but paintings, mosaics. If I have to pick between paintings and mosaics, probably paintings. I've been to churches and mosques in Istanbul, Iran, and Georgia. I would love to. I think we might go to Georgia next year. We're thinking about that. I'd really like to go to Georgia, and I would love to visit Iran. Absolutely love it. It's so on my bucket list, my travel bucket list. So, and if you and Nagar, if you can think of any sort of like differences with mosques in Istanbul, Iran, in Georgia, then let me know. If not, if it's too much to write, no stress, but just out of curiosity. I like mosaics because they can have symbolism, and sculptures because they can represent someone who once lived long ago, I think. Sure, absolutely. And I know that there's a sculpture at the Louvre that was not stolen. And I think I want to say that it's Athena, where it's this beautiful sort of goddess with wings, and everybody looks at the statue from the front, but from behind, it's even more interesting. So that's, I think, the cool thing with sculpture is that it's not just what you see here. You have this whole, like, you can encircle it and you can sort of see it from different angles. So Yuki likes sculpture. Maybe you can educate me. All right. Then last question. Have you ever seen mosaics and where? And we've seen that some people might have answered that already. Like I said, I saw mosaics in Ravenna in Italy. If you've not been and you have an opportunity, you have to go. The mosaics are incredible. What I love about these buildings is from the outside, they kind of look like, not very interesting. They remind me of these rocks that are ugly on the outside, and you crack them, and then you have the different colored, the purple and different colored jewels. I forget the name of them. I'm sure somebody knows, so please help me. But that's what the buildings in Ravenna remind me of, where from the outside it's just gray or whatever, and then on the inside it's just this sparkling masterpiece. I prefer paintings, all of them in Italy. There are plenty of those kinds of art. Yes, you Italians, absolutely. Okay, so here we're moving on to our last section for today. Yuki, this one's for you. And let's see. So just to kind of give you a hint of where we're heading, here's a nice little idiom. And what does the idiom "to spice things up" mean? What does it mean to spice things up? This is a really nice idiom. What can you tell me? To spice things up. If you want to spice things up, what does that mean? Does it mean to take things to the extreme? Not necessarily the extreme, something like that. Yeah, exactly. Something like that, but more kind of, let's see. What can you say? To make something more exciting, something more interesting, to spice things up. So, like, you say this sometimes in a relationship, if you've been in a relationship sometimes for a long time and things kind of become routine, we need to spice things up. We need to go on a date. We need to explore another place to make something sparkly special. That's cute, Yuki. Yeah, to make something more exciting. If you want to use it in a sentence, you're more than welcome to do so. Or maybe to take things to a higher level, not necessarily extreme. Exactly. To improve it, to make it a little bit more exciting. You can say you can see Ishtar Gate from Babylon and Pergamon Museum in Berlin. So beautiful. Ooh, I need to go with my daughter next time I'm in Berlin. In Georgia, I visited just churches, mosques, and churches in Iran and Istanbul are a little different in case of architecture because there are two kinds of Muslim. The Sunni, the Shiite, and the Sunni. And I wonder what if this is Sunni or Shiite. Shia. I think it's Shia, right? Shia and Sunni. Let's find out what Hagia Sophia is, unless you know that already, just out of curiosity. So Hagia Sophia is Shia or Sunni? Out of curiosity. Just adding spices to food. Yeah, you add spices to your life. That's a nice way of putting it, actually. To spice things up, to add spices to your life. So let's see. Sophia is not affiliated with a specific Muslim sect. Okay, so it's pretty sect neutral. But in Turkey, Islam is predominantly Sunni. Okay. All right. Interesting. So let's see. Okay, so let's see. And just to give you a couple more sentences, she added colorful pillows to her sofa to spice up the living room. He told a funny story to spice up things at a party. Let's try this new recipe tonight to spice things up. And another one, they played a board game to spice things up during a boring afternoon. Sorry. I attended a Catholic secondary school and there were mosaics, sorry. There were mosaics in the main hall and in the small church like room where we did like a prayer club. Okay, nice. That must have been a very beautiful school because I know you're in the UK, so that must have been old and really pretty. All right, let's do some vocab words and then I have a video, true false question, and we're kind of then going. You always spice up your lives. Oh, thank you. Thank you, thank you. All right, so let's see. So let's take a look at some vocab, like I said, and let's kind of move on. Some words that are related to, because we're heading to the Egyptian Spice Bazaar. I didn't go to the Grand Bazaar, but I'll tell you why in a minute once we see this list of vocab words. Where is this? Oh, aha, I'm in the wrong section. Let me go into the Egyptian Bazaar. There we go. Here we go. We are in business and I need to hop over here. Oops. Okay. So let's see. So we have aroma, we have haggle, we have exotic, stall, and merchant. So these are all nice vocabulary words that we can use. And when we talk about certain bazaars, old married couple need to spice things up. Absolutely. You do. And let's see. So here are our definitions. A small shop or table where goods are sold often in a market. B, from another person, from another country, unusual and interesting. C, a person who sells goods. D, a strong, pleasant smell. E, to argue about the price of something before buying it. Okay, so we have aroma, haggle, exotic, stall, and merchant. What works best with number one, with aroma? What can you tell me? Aroma. You're so fast, Ollie. Okay, so Ollie's saying D. Who agrees with Ollie? So number one, aroma. Okay, hey, Alessio, you're back. By the way, the secondary school I went to was named after Thomas More, and the name is literally Thomas More Catholic School. Okay. Number one, D. Okay, so everyone's saying D, exactly. Aroma. So a small shop, or no, sorry, what am I doing? D. Strong and pleasant smell. So like when you walk into a coffee shop, you have the aroma of the coffee beans. When you walk into a bakery, soak up that aroma. So that's how you can use that word. When you walk into the Egyptian bazaar, everything is clean, everything is really well taken care of, and you just have the aroma of different spices. So it's really exciting. Yuki, when you were there 30 years ago, did you go to it? Because they have the Grand Bazaar and they have the Egyptian one. We went to just the Egyptian one, which is smaller. And that's because of number two. What does number two mean? So Serena's saying two is E. Lorena's saying E. Any other guesses for E? What can we say? Haggle, kind of a funny word. Yuki says E, Yelena says E. So two E, to argue about the price of something before buying it. So exactly. So this is why we did not go to the Grand Bazaar, because Peter hates this. So he was afraid that it was going to be like all these people trying to sell him something. It wasn't that way at all. It was very calm. If you went over and you looked at something, then people tried to interact with you, but in a very non-pushy way. You said you weren't interested. They were totally fine with it. So it was really very pleasant. We did not have to get into sort of this situation. Now, we didn't want to buy anything, so we didn't have to haggle. That's when you want to buy someone and you negotiate the price. You try to bargain with someone. Absolutely, Alessio. Good extra vocabulary word. Visited the Grand Bazaar. I am not able to haggle with people. I have zero talent in that as well. Not a really safe place. Okay, it's probably better today. I didn't go to the Grand Bazaar. I will definitely do that next time. But we went to the Egyptian Spice Bazaar. Smaller, it's like, baby steps to the bazaar, leading up to the big one. So yeah, so to haggle, negotiating. Number 3, exotic. So exotic. And then I have a video for you once we're done with these. Number 3, so number 1 was D, number 2 is E, number 3, exotic. Serena, you're going with B. Yelena, you're going with B. Yes. You've altered yours, Ollie. Okay, it's B. So everyone's saying B, exotic, from another country, unusual or interesting. I always find this word very interesting because what is exotic to me is not exotic to people in another place. Like exotic is always a matter of your perspective. This was something that I had recently as a realization. I don't know why. We think about these strange things, and I'm like, for me, I don't know. I'm trying to think of something. I can't think of anything right now. But like, marzipan, let's say in Germany, this candy, the marzipan thing is not exotic in Germany. But if you go to other places, it might be completely exotic. They've never seen it. So it's always a matter of your own perspective as to what is exotic or not. A lot of kitties, oh, okay, pickpocketers. Okay, so 3 is B. 3 is, yes. Okay, thank you, Yuki, keeping us on track. Exotic exactly is B. 4, what can you tell me with number 4? To me, I think exotic means things like that don't exist in other places, but certain places, for example, fruits. Exactly. So things that are just not common to you are exotic. So exactly. I find that word actually interesting because it's only a matter of your own perspective as to what exactly exotic is. All right, so 4A, everybody's saying A, stall, a small shop or table where goods are sold, often in a market. Absolutely. And last but not least, number 5, a merchant. You need people to sell the stuff, right? So a person who sells goods, sells different types of things. So let's move to our video and let's see. So 5 is C, exactly. Okay. Removing this, let's get the video. Let me show you. Yuki, I wish you had gone to the spice one. I think you would have really loved it. So let's see. So I've added a picture here so that let me get rid of me. Hold on. Sorry. How do I make myself smaller? You know what? I think I'm going to very nice to see. And as you can tell, it was really beautifully constructed. Again, photo, video credit to Peter. Got to give him some props here. So for instance, in Asia specifically, I think Southeast Asia or somewhere, there are fruits like durian and jackfruit that don't really come from anywhere else. Exactly, right? And for us, those are totally exotic. You eat that stuff every day. That's normal. When I visited Grand Bazaar, I was excited with the exotic smell of the spices. Yummy. Yes, I thought you would really enjoy that little clip. Let's move on to some true or false questions about the bazaars. And let's see. Let me move this slide. And let's see what we've got. That is 16. I cannot believe how actually organized this is. Really, like between Uzbekistan on a plane to the States, I've put the things together. It's working. You know what? I've actually tried durian, and for some reason, I don't think it stinks. Okay, I thought it was supposed to be the smell that it smells bad but tastes good. I have no idea. All right. So to each his own, right, Ollie? So number one, we have true or false. The Egyptian Spice Bazaar was built in the 17th century. What can you tell me? The Egyptian Spice Bazaar, when do you think that it was built? Or let's just say true or false, it was built in the 17th century. To learn a little bit about these bazaars. Bazaars. I always mix up bazaar and bizarre. You know, bizarre, Bizarre, is weird. It's so bizarre. And bazaar is where you go and buy stuff. Some people have different opinions. Some think durian tastes bad. Some think it tastes good. Maybe it's kind of like coriander, where you have cilantro and coriander, the same that herb. Where some people think it tastes great, and some people think that it tastes like soap. You have that. So, what can you tell me? True or false? Number one, Egyptian Spice Bazaar was built in the 17th century. Do you think that it is true, or do you think that it's false? What can you tell me? True. Any other guesses? Excuse me. So we have true, we have a false, we have a true, and true question mark. So yes, it was built in the 17th century. Number two, let's see. The Grand Bazaar has around 80 to 90 shops. The Grand Bazaar, 80 to 90 shops. What do you think? True or false? Number one was true. Number two, the Grand Bazaar has around 80 to 90 shops. What can you say? False. True. True. Oh, nope. I just have two answers. False. Okay. So that is actually false. But let's do this. Guess how many shops the Grand Bazaar has. It has more than 80 or 90. How many do you think that it has? Just as a little follow-up sort of guessing game. What do you think? How many shops does the Grand Bazaar have? Two false perhaps. More than 4,000. Okay, you've got your Googling on. Yes, it has over 4,000 different shops. What about number three? What can you tell me? The Spice Bazaar sells mainly spices, herbs, teas, nuts, and Turkish delight, which is so funny because maybe 10 years ago, I think, for the first time, I had Turkish delight. I know it from the children's book, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, where everybody wanted to eat Turkish delight. I thought it was something totally different. So yeah, I'm not crazy about it, I have to say. It's a little too, I don't know. I don't really get it. So let's see. So Yelena's saying true. Ollie's saying true. Yes. So it makes sense. The Spice Bazaar, they sell lots of teas. They had really beautiful teas with like roses in them and different flowers and all kinds of different varieties and spices and things of that nature. Number four, we have, number four, the Egyptian Spice Bazaar has a connection with Egypt because taxes on Egyptian goods helped to fund it. What are you saying for number four? Number one was two. Number one was true. Number two was false. Number three was true. And number four, do you think that there's a connection because the Egyptian bazaar was built because they placed some taxes on Egypt and they were able to build it because of that? True or false? What are you saying? They were able to build the Egyptian bazaar with tax dollars or tax, whatever the currency was. Number four, false. We have a true and a false. False. And okay, so the answer is actually true. So they had placed some taxes on Egyptian goods, and they were able to earn so much money that they actually were able to build this beautiful old building. So yeah, number five is okay. So number five, thank you, Ollie. The Grand Bazaar is smaller than the Egyptian Bazaar. He's saying false. Right, it's false. Number six, the Grand Bazaar sells a wide variety of goods, including jewelry, carpets, clothes, and souvenirs. True or false? True. Yes, obviously. Yeah, it's true. All right. So, last question of the day for everyone. Number six is obviously true. There you can buy all kinds of other things. Not maybe they have spices. I don't know. I didn't go. I will go maybe in the early summer and I will be able to tell you. But yeah. So, last question for today. Yuki, you've made it, darling. Let's see. Last little kind of just sort of pulling this lesson together. Which place would you like to visit the most? Where would you like to go to the most? What are you thinking? Where would you like to go? What is on your travel bucket list that you would like to see? What can you tell me? It's very hard for me to like come up with one place because as you see or as you can tell maybe it's I like to go everywhere. I never say no. Peter's like, "Do you want to go?" And I'm like, "Yes. Yes. I don't care where." So yes, Peru absolutely on my list as well. Japan, I would love to go back there. Any other places that you would like to go and visit? Let me know. I'd like to go to Georgia next year. I think that would be a nice uh, sort of Central Asian, I guess it's kind of Central Asian destination to go to. We were in Uzbekistan. Everywhere, exactly, Lorena, right? Can't pick. I also want to go everywhere, everywhere, everywhere. Thailand and Turkey. Okay. Alessia, I can totally, totally see you going to Istanbul with your daughter. I think I've already written that to you. It's a great city for a weekend adventure with a child or a teen. I just as some weekend markets in Thailand, okay? Korea, yes, great place, and welcome on board. I didn't know you were here. Hello, hello. Okay, Japan as well. So Yuki, you might have a lot of visitors soon. The reason why I want to go to Japan is because I want to travel on the bullet train. Yes, yes. It's a fun experience. Slovenia and Norway. Ooh, nice places as well. Very cool. So, thank you, folks, very much for participating in our lesson today. I hope that you enjoyed it and learned something. And yeah, that it wasn't like a person showing their slides and you're like, oh gosh, ugh, when is this over? So, I hope that you had fun. And I will go live next week. I cannot remember what our topic is. I think it's memories. I think it's memories, which is perfect because I have no memory. Come on, everyone. Georgia is one of my favorite countries. Oh, cool. That's good to hear. I really think I want to go to Georgia. We might do that. Thank you, Michaela. Thank you, everyone, for showing up today. My apologies for the inconsistent timing here. Next week, when we go live, I will be in South Carolina, so I'll be back in that other time zone, visiting my family there. I appreciate you all showing up and making an effort to participate and be here. So, so, so nice to be back. These 2 weeks, I was just like, Peter's like, "You're itching to go live again, huh? You need to be with your people again." I'm like, yes. So yeah. Thank you, Ollie, for your understanding. Appreciate everyone. Thank you. Thank you. Have a great day. I'm going to go eat something and maybe I'll go to a shopping mall. I need to go shopping. Take care, guys. Bye.